What if I told you you could be an orc? It doesn't matter who you are, what species you were born as. If you're on Team Boulder or Team Stone Arrow, it just doesn't matter. You can be an orc. That's what Beogh believes, and today we're going to be playing as his favorite disciple, Saint Roka the Messiah. Saint Roka is a unique orc warlord that can be found in many places in Crawl. He is always accompanied by a band of comrades, so if you see an orc that seems out of place, there's a good chance the chosen one of Beogh is just around the corner. He's able to smite at range and is usually equipped with a powerful two-handed weapon and plate armor. He's, somewhat ironically, vulnerable to holy damage, because Beogh is considered an evil god in the Crawl universe. His threat level is going to be determined mostly by where you find him. You can encounter him as early as the Orcish Mines, where he will be best avoided unless you have a good plan to take him out. However, if you find him in the depths, he probably won't be much of a threat by that point in the game. For this challenge, we can pick any species we want, a rare treat for a Crawl cosplay challenge. I'm going to come back to species choice once we've discussed the rest of the challenge, as it will have an impact on what we pick. Our background today is another monk. We just played a monk in our Pargy challenge 2 weeks ago, and I can't say I'm super excited to don those robes again. If you want details about the monk background choice, I'll put a link here to my Pargy video where I talk more about it. To be brief, it's a dexterity start with a potion of ambrosia, a robe, and an orb of light. The god we have to worship today is, somewhat obviously, Beogh the Outcast, the god of the orcs. In older versions of Crawl, you had to play the hill orc species to worship Beogh. Although Beogh is the god of the orcs, he's been reworked recently to allow any species to worship him and essentially become an orc. The way that you can convert to Beogh is somewhat unique. Typically, the way you convert to a god is by finding their altar and kneeling at it. You can do that with Beogh as well, but these altars are somewhat rare. The most usual way of joining Beogh is being converted by an orc priest. If you get injured while in line of sight of an orc priest, they will give you a prompt to convert to Beogh. If you do, all orcs on screen will become neutral, turning a potential death into a saved run. Most players convert to Beogh out of desperation, similar to Lugonu, who lets you leave the abyss if you convert to them. But not us. We want to worship Beogh as our first choice for this challenge, so we're going to actually be hoping to run into an early orc priest. What can Beogh do for us? He makes orcs sometimes become neutral upon sight. He gives us the ability to smite, which works sort of the same way it does for orc priests. He sends apostles to challenge us. If we defeat them, we can recruit them to fight with us, up to 3 at a time. He sometimes heals our apostles when we deal damage to monsters. He will revive our apostles if they die in battle after gaining some piety. He allows us to walk on water. And his final ability is Blood for Blood, which allows us to summon an orc army while standing on the corpse of a fallen apostle. Playing with permanent living allies and a god that dislikes it when you harm them is somewhat of a pain. It rules out many powerful spells and consumables that can target the whole screen. This makes Beogh somewhat of an unpopular choice among Crawl players, but I think there's much fun to be had in this style of gameplay. It's kind of like playing a summoner that doesn't need to cast at the beginning of every fight. I don't have a ton of experience with Beogh, but I'm excited to give them a try. Let's take a look at the challenge details. Number 1, armor. Don't use a shield. Reflection amulets are fine. This kinda sucks. That means we'll want to use a two-handed weapon or an orb of some kind. Shields are generally the correct choice in 90% of games, so not having the option is going to be rough. Number 2, evocations. Don't use any wands. This also kinda sucks. At least we won't have to worry about training evocations. Number 3, invocations. Reach level 27 in invocations. There is no limit to when you need to accomplish this. This isn't so bad. According to the wiki, Smite and Blood for Blood scale with invocations, so we will be getting some use out of this skill for sure. A max damage Smite can deal 72 Smite targeted irresistible damage, so that's pretty cool. For the bonus challenges, we have number 1, Messiah Complex. Become a follower of Beogh while in the Orcish Mines. If there are no altars or priests in the mines, follow Beogh anytime after you've cleared them out. This is fine, it's just going to put a delay on how early we can start building piety. I think this means we enter Orc first for the convert and then we dip into layer. We'll come back to Orc when we have more piety and most of the Orcs will turn neutral. Number 2, Smite Makes Right. Enter the Vestibule of Hell and kill Garyon before you leave. Entering a Hell branch counts as leaving. You only get 1 shot per game, so be prepared. This one seems pretty challenging. Vestibule and Garyon aren't too bad, but not being able to stair dance is going to make this tough. Our strategy for this is going to vary wildly depending on how the run goes, but I think it will definitely involve an activation or 2 of Blood for Blood. It's time to swing back around to our species choice. We need to find a species that's going to pair well with both Beogh and the Monk start. The preferred species with Monk are Mountain Dwarf, Merfolk, Gargoyle, Troll, Demon Spawn, and Armatar. The problem is that with the exception of Armatar, we've already won with all these species before, and I'd like to take this opportunity to make progress on Great Player. We also want to keep our invocations aptitude in mind since we'll need to train 27 invocations. Armatar seems like a nice choice since they're a preferred species with Monk and we don't have a win with them yet, but their 0 invo aptitude leaves much to be desired. I'm actually going to be giving Formicid a try here, because I haven't won with one yet, and they have a very respectable +2 in invocations. Formicids are a weird ant-like species that have 4 arms, are immune to teleports, and can dig with their giant mandibles. Not being able to teleport is such a huge downside, but I think with the extra Apostle meat shields, we should be fine. Another honorable mention is Deep Elf with their +1 invo apt, but that seems a bit tougher of a challenge. If Formicid doesn't work out for us, maybe we'll give Deep Elf a try. Okay, so that's the challenge. You may have noticed that this Crawl Cosplay Challenge video is much shorter than my previous ones. That's because I actually haven't done this challenge yet. Following the success of the Trunk Tournament live streams, it's become apparent to me that most people in the Crawl community prefer live streams over pre-recorded gameplay. I'm going to put a card on screen now that will link to my scheduled live stream where I'll be playing this challenge. It will be this upcoming Saturday, April 12th at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Be sure to open that link and click on the notification bell so you'll be alerted when I go live. If you missed the live stream, that's okay. That link will take you to the recording of the stream. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this shorter form video, and I will see you on Saturday.